Hello, I'm Patrick, and I developed the Gateway wallet. It is a blockchain wallet built on the BSV blockchain. Project started many years ago, a couple of years ago, and it slowly developed into a wallet. Reason for the BSV is because it is the only one that scales, and the transaction costs are very, very low, minuscule, some cents for transactions. Therefore, it will make many different types of transaction possible. I first realized that it was possible to use the blockchain as a storage device when it was mentioned that you could save data, which at that time was about 80K, or 80 bytes. Therefore, all they did was save a little snippet, a link that linked to another outside file. But as we progress, BSV can now have a block size out of 4 gigabyte, which means, well, virtually any kind of videos can really go on it. Whether the miners will allow that or not, I don't know, but it's feasible now. You can get the wallet by going to mybsv.io, which put in the link below. Scan the QR code, and you open the link to wallet. Very easy. There's no installation, there's no sign up, and this helps because otherwise you'll have to depend on Google or whoever they are to grant us permission. This way, you don't need any permission. It works on your browser straight off. Right. Those are the design of the wallet, what was different about it as a blockchain wallet. Now to explain a bit more about why it was developed. So what can you use this wallet for? Transactions, everyday transactions, small transactions, because the cost of transaction is so low. If you buy a cup of coffee at maybe $4, you would have to pay up to 60 cents just for the bank to make the transfer. On this wallet, basically free, minuscule, fractions of a cent. It's a chicken and egg situation, whether the users come first or whether the merchants accept the wallet first. So it's hard to get BSV. The idea then is maybe for small local communities where you trade in like farmers market or maybe neighborhoods where instead of borrowing a cup of sugar, you pay 20 cents for a cup of sugar. And then because you forget. So it's useful for this sort of areas, and as people get to use it, then find that they can use it for small transactions without having to cash out, then it's a use, and very much more useful for undeveloped countries or less developed countries where the infrastructure for banking is not there. And it's really an advantage because there's no middleman. What makes it different from other BSV wallets? Well, for one, it's not on any server. It is actually served by the miners and indexed by what's on chain, Bytails, Gorilla Pool. There's no possibility of this wallet disappearing, even if the web where you got it from closed down. Once you have that app, it will stay in the browser link. You go back to the website and a new version every now and then, just to keep up to date, which will update the browser storage. This is very important because there's so many wallets that have come and gone. Because of the costs of maintenance of the servers, they can't afford to keep it going without an income. By using the BSV blockchains, we avoid that problem. The wallet will always remain. Basically, it's EFTPOS machine on your mobile phone. For example, if you tap an amount that you want someone to pay you, and then say show QR, and you have the QR code, and someone scans that, they can pay you. So that is basically an EFTPOS machine, which means what they do is they key in the amount that they want you to pay, and then you have your card on it. This is all QR code, so it's a lot faster. So that becomes an EFTPOS machine. But on top of being an EFTPOS machine, it goes one step further. We also allow scanning. Now, this is scanning a card. See that? What that does is you can create QR code. There's a program for you that to create QR code items for your business, whether you hairdressing or groceries or selling fruits or even in a cafe. You can scan them and then put few items on it and then present the QR code for the customer to pay. That is now like a supermarket scanning machine. If you think about it, that's what happens in the supermarket. They scan your items, and as you pass, you see the items come up on the screen, and then they say pay. You put your credit card in and pay it, or pay cash. You can do the same here. You can scan it and present the QR code, and they can either pay you through QR code or pay you cash. It doesn't really matter, but you have the system. I want to say a bit about the hub and the CRM, which is Customer Relationship Management. You access it by going to the Wallet Hub, which is there, and going to the Enterprise, and you get CRM. It looks like this. What it is you can maintain a customer database, and you get all your contacts. Now, when you get a customer database like that, and you create your contacts, you have your list of customers, of all the customers you deal with, and you get them by offering them services. And the moment they pay you with the gateway wallet, you introduce the wallet to them, and then they use it to pay for your coffee or buy snacks or whatever. You have their address, and because you have their address, you add it to the contact, and they become your customer base. You don't get in normal situation, because in normal situation you have to know their phone number and their email, and neither of that is available to you. All you have is the bank payment to you. In this case, you got the address. It's their wallet address, which is in the gateway wallet is the identity, and they can have several identities, I suppose. But at least it was the identity they used to make a purchase from you. And because of that, now you can send a message to them through the wallet system. And you pay them a bit to send a message, and later on we'll introduce a reward system whereby you can pay them quite a lot of money for them to read your email, because they might just ignore it. So you have to make it worth their while to open the mail. And in some situation, it will be useful. But we have not introduced it yet. It's possible to do that. And the CRM will enable them to share your customer orders. Now that part of it is basically for in a cafe situation. The customer scans the menu and makes the orders, and then send the order to you, the owner, and you get it on the CRM order screen, and you know what they ordered, who they are, where they sit, what table number, and then you create the order and send it out to them, maybe with a robot, and then when time to pay, you just convert that order to an invoice, and they pay by scanning or whatever. And the whole system is complete, and it's free. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay equipment costs. You don't have to rent anything. It works on your phone. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to install anything. It just lives on the blockchain, and you access it through the browser. It's a whole new way of doing things, and people are not used to it, and they don't understand it, and it probably will take a while. But these things are what they call cheaper and better. Cheaper and better always wins in the end. Always wins.